Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Sandra. 大家好，你们好吗？欢迎 Welcome to Community Mandarin today. Okay, 欢迎欢迎。I hope you guys are having a good day because today we're going to be talking about something everybody likes. So today we're going to be learning a range of Mandarin words about hobbies. So before that, we have to know how to say hobby in Mandarin, right? So let's get into it. All right, from screen, you can see there are two Chinese phrases. The first one is 兴趣. 兴趣. The second one is 爱好. 爱好. So we have 兴趣 and 爱好. The reason I want to introduce you guys to two words is because first, let's focus on the second one, 爱好. 爱好, when used as a noun, it means hobby. The first one, 兴趣, when used as a noun, it means interest. It does not mean monetary interest, like if you put your money in the bank, you get interest. No, not that kind of interest. Like you are interested in something, that interest. Okay, so to say hobby in Mandarin, we actually have two ways of saying it. The first one is we just say 爱好. 爱好. The second one, I don't know why it formed this way, but if you want to say it in a more formal way, you can say 兴趣爱好. Interest and hobby together is the formal way of saying hobby. Of course, if you think, okay, that's too many words, too many syllables. I don't want to be bothered with that. We can just remember 爱好. 爱好 is hobby in Mandarin. Okay. And since we're talking about 爱好, let's see how the word is formed. So, if you've watched the previous Community Mandarin before, you might remember 爱. When used as a verb, it means to love. And now, let's see the second word from 爱好. 好. Again, if you've watched the Community Mandarin before, you would probably remember, okay, that Chinese character is a little bit familiar. Isn't it 好? 好 with the third tone, the falling rising tone. I'm happy to inform you, yes, it is. The second Chinese character from the phrase 爱好 is actually 好. When it is pronounced, the third tone, the falling rising tone, it is an adjective. It means great, awesome, okay. But when it is pronounced as the fourth tone, the falling tone, 好, instead of 好, it is a verb. It means to like. So 爱 means to love. 好 means to like. And 爱 and 好, when we put them together, it forms a noun. It means hobby. It's just something you like or something you love. That makes sense, right? At least I hope so. Okay. So after introduce you guys with the word hobby, 爱好, let's dive into something more specific. Like, okay, I have put together what I think it will be the common hobby for people nowadays. I don't know. I might miss something. If that's the case, please leave a comment down below. Tell me what is your 爱好. Okay? So first, let's look at this one. First, let's read it through. 请跟我读。第一个，看书，看书。第二个，听音乐，听音乐。第三，旅游，旅游。The 旅 part has a ü sound, and usually English native speakers will find it a little bit hard. So let's do it again. 旅游，旅游。Okay. 第四 number 4, 购物，购物。Number 5, 运动. Oh, this one sounds familiar. If you happen to watch Community Mandarin last week, you will probably know what that means. But we'll see the meaning of these in a second, okay? Last but not least, 健身,健身. All right, now it's time to review what this means. If you've been learning Mandarin like on by yourself for a while, or if you've been watching Community Mandarin on and off, some of these might be a little bit familiar to you. Let's see. The first one, 看书.看书 means to read books. To read books. The next one, 听音乐.听音乐 means to listen to music. We've talked about the verb 听 to listen to or to hear in that I think it's about 2 weeks ago when we were talking about 好听 pleasing to your ears and 难听 unpleasant to your ears. So 听 is a verb, it means to hear. Okay, next up, that's like your go-to answer usually when asked like what is your hobby, right? A lot of people would say that as a safe bet. 旅游 traveling. 旅游. Okay. Next one we have 购物. 购物 means shopping. So somebody might still remember 物 from when we were learning about 动物. 物 means objects. 购 is is a more formal way to say buy. It means to purchase. So 购物 together means shopping. That's probably, I don't know, my go-to answer if somebody asks me what is your hobby. Okay, and the next one, we've learned that just last week. 运动 means sports. 运动 means sports. And then I have to say the last one, 健身 is a little bit different than 运动. So if we're talking about like I love sports, it's different than I love workout, right? Workout is more focused on like building up build up your body, or like eating healthy. So there is a difference between 运动 and 健身. And next up, let's take a moment to look at the first word, 看书,看书. We've talked about before. 看 means to look at, right? So 看书 literally means to look at a book, to look at a book. So in English we say to read a book, right? But it is worth mentioning that in Mandarin, if we say to read a book, it'll be 读书, as I highlighted in red, 读书. And then there is a difference between 看书 and 读书. In the Mandarin surroundings, 看书 is actually the English version of read a book. 看书 is usually you read a book for leisure. Whereas 读书 is more like you read books for study purpose, for more for more study or to learn something purpose. So it's a little bit different. So if you want to say I like reading books, as in a sense like I like to pick up a thriller or a fiction, so we should probably go with 看书. Okay. So let's compare these two sentences. First one, 我喜欢看书. 我喜欢看书. It shouldn't have any new words as of now. I like reading books. So when we're saying 看书, it's more like I like reading books for leisure. It's not like your textbook. But if we say 我喜欢读书, 我喜欢读书. 读书 is more focused on reading for your study, or it's more like a textbook. It's more like for school purposes. So there is a difference between that. Well, it depends on like when you're talking about you like to read books, what kind of books do you like to read? So if you're like I like to read books for leisure, what we'll probably go with 我喜欢看书. Or you're like I'm a really really hard worker. When I like to study stuff, I read textbooks all day long. Then you should probably go with 我喜欢读书. Okay, 看书 more focus on leisure, 读书 more focus on study. Okay, and now let's look at this conversation. Now we know how to talk, how to say 爱好, and we learned the various terms of 爱好, like specific types of 爱好. Now this conversation would be like if you want to strike up a convo with somebody, like what's your hobby? You can say 你有什么兴趣爱好, or simply 你有什么爱好? What hobby do you have? Okay. And then to answer that, you could simply just, say what your hobby is. Like 你有什么爱好? If you find that to form a whole sentence is just too tiring, you can just say, for example, 看书. Or if you want to practice some more, you can say, 我喜欢看书. I like reading books. Or 我爱看书. I love reading books. That depends on, how much you love it. Or you can say 我的爱好是. My hobby is, for example, read a book. 看书. Okay. So this is the pattern you want to remember if, like, say, in the future you want to strike up a conversation with someone about, hey, what's your hobby? 你有什么爱好? Yes. All right, that's it for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next week. But as always, before we 说再见, before we say goodbye, I encourage you guys to visit Rolla's website as well as our YouTube channel. So, goodbye. 再见.